In the 1980s, every cartoon was built around loud, confident, action-ready heroes. Masters of the Universe, Thundercats, G.I. Joe. Everybody was charging into battle, screaming catchphrases, and saving the world before breakfast. The message was clear. Bold wins, loud wins, extroverts win. But hiding in the background of almost every single one of those shows was a different kind of character. The quiet one, the nervous one, the one who didn't want to lead the charge but somehow ended up being the emotional heart of the entire series. The introvert. Nobody made action figures of these characters. Nobody put them on lunchboxes. But if you actually watched these shows, you know the introverts were the ones you related to. The ones who made you feel seen. The ones who proved you didn't have to be the loudest person in the room to matter. Today we're ranking the 10 most introverted characters from 80s cartoons. From number 10 all the way to the quietest, most inward-looking character of the entire decade. Number 10. Sweet Stuff, My Little Pony, the movie, 1986. Starting at number 10 is a character most people have completely forgotten. And honestly, that's kind of perfect for an introvert. Sweet Stuff was a pony from the original My Little Pony universe, and everything about her screamed quiet energy. Soft-spoken, apologetic, constantly unsure of herself. In a franchise full of bright, outgoing personalities, Sweet Stuff was the one standing slightly behind the group, hoping nobody asked her to give a speech. She wasn't shy because of trauma. She was just wired that way. Some ponies are loud. Some ponies would rather read a book in a meadow by themselves. Sweet Stuff was the meadow pony. The original My Little Pony toy line had over 150 individual ponies by the end of the 80s, but Sweet Stuff's figure was one of the lower sellers, proving that even in toy form, introverts get overlooked. Number 9. Linus Van Pelt, The Charlie Brown and Snoopy Show, 1983. Linus Van Pelt is the philosopher of the Peanuts gang, while Charlie Brown is busy failing at everything and Snoopy is busy being a maniac. Linus is sitting somewhere quiet, holding his security blanket and thinking about things that no child should be thinking about. The meaning of life, the nature of faith, whether the great pumpkin is real or just a metaphor for hope. He's not antisocial. He can hold a conversation and even be assertive when he needs to be. Remember the Christmas speech? But Linus lives in his own head most of the time. His default state is reflection, not action. He processes the world internally before he speaks, making him one of the most genuinely thoughtful characters in all of animation. The blanket isn't a weakness, it's the physical manifestation of an introvert creating a safe boundary between himself and a world that's a little too loud. Charles Schulz based Linus partly on his own introspective tendencies and used the character to explore philosophical and theological ideas that he couldn't give to any other member of the cast.
And they say kids had it tough in the old days! Maybe Lucy is right.
Number 8. Psycho, The Bluffers, 1986. If you remember The Bluffers, congratulations, you are part of an extremely small and extremely loyal club. This European animated series featured a cast of anthropomorphic animals, and among them was Psycho, a snake whose name was wildly misleading. He wasn't psychotic, he wasn't dangerous, he was shy, reclusive, and deeply uncomfortable in social situations. He was basically introversion with scales. Psycho preferred hiding to fighting. He preferred silence to conversation. In a show full of larger-than-life animal characters, Psycho was the one who just wanted everybody to keep it down. He didn't want adventure, he wanted a warm rock and some peace and quiet. Honestly, relatable. The Bluffers was produced in the Netherlands and aired across Europe before getting a limited US broadcast, making it one of the most obscure entries on this entire list. Number 7. Uni, Dungeons & Dragons, 1983. Uni the Unicorn from the Dungeons & Dragons cartoon is what happens when you drop a textbook introvert into the most terrifying possible environment. She was timid, she was clingy, she stuck to Bobby the Barbarian like glue because the idea of being alone in a world full of demons and dark lords was more than her nervous system could handle. But here's the thing. Uni wasn't useless. When it truly mattered, when the people she loved were in danger, she found courage. Not loud, flashy, sword-swinging courage. Quiet courage, the kind where your legs are shaking and your voice is trembling, but you step forward anyway because someone needs you. That's introvert bravery. It doesn't look like a battle cry. It looks like a deep breath and a small step forward. Uni embodied that perfectly every single episode. Uni could only communicate through bleeding sounds, which made her arguably the most introverted character by design. She literally couldn't speak up even if she wanted to.
Uni!
Number 6. Ernest Penfold, Danger Mouse, 1981. Every great hero needs a sidekick, and Danger Mouse got Penfold, a hamster so cautious, so timid, and so deeply averse to danger that his entire existence felt like one long anxiety attack. His catchphrase was, "Oh crumbs," which is the most introverted battle cry in the history of animation. While Danger Mouse charged headfirst into explosions, Penfold was the one quietly calculating how many things could go wrong and concluding the answer was all of them. Penfold never wanted to be a hero. He would have been perfectly happy in a small flat with a cup of tea and a good crossword puzzle. But he followed Danger Mouse into chaos anyway, not because he was brave, but because loyalty is an introvert superpower. Introverts don't have many close relationships, but the ones they have, they'll walk through fire for. Penfold walked through fire every episode, complained the entire way, and that made him more heroic than any character with a cape. The original Danger Mouse ran for 10 series and 161 episodes, and Penfold was voted the favorite character in viewer polls, beating Danger Mouse himself. We're about to hit the top 5, and these characters take introversion to a whole new level. If you're feeling seen right now, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling me which cartoon introvert represented your childhood. Let's keep going.
The incident. We don't talk about the incident.
Number 5. Eeyore, The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, 1988. Eeyore is the patron saint of people who didn't ask to be invited, but are somehow hurt they weren't. He lives alone. His house falls down constantly. He expects the worst in every situation, and he delivers every line with the energy of someone who has already accepted that today will be disappointing and tomorrow won't be much better. But Eeyore isn't depressed. This is a common misread. Eeyore is an introvert who has fully embraced his own nature. He doesn't want to bounce like Tigger. He doesn't want to organize adventures like Rabbit. He wants to sit by the river and exist in quiet melancholy. And when his friends show up, which they always do, he pretends to be annoyed, but you can tell he's grateful. He just doesn't have the social bandwidth to express it. Eeyore is what happens when an introvert stops pretending to be an extrovert. And there's a freedom in that. Peter Cullen, who also voiced Optimus Prime, originally voiced Eeyore in the specials before the role was taken over for the TV series, meaning the same man gave voice to both the loudest leader and the quietest donkey in 80s animation.
Good night, little fella.
Number 4. Marcy, The Charlie Brown and Snoopy Show, 1983. Marcy is the introvert who figured out the cheat code. She's quiet, she's kind, she observes everything, and because she's not busy being loud, she's the smartest person in every room she enters. While Peppermint Patty is charging ahead making impulsive decisions, Marcy is 2 steps behind, quietly noting everything that's about to go wrong and gently trying to steer things in a better direction. What makes Marcy a top-tier introvert is that she doesn't resent her own quietness. She's not trying to be louder. She's not jealous of the outgoing kids. She's completely comfortable operating in the background, offering support, being the voice of reason nobody listens to until it's too late. Marcy understood something as a cartoon child that most real adults never figure out. You don't need to be the center of attention to be the most important person in the room. Sometimes the person who says the least sees the most. Marcy always calls Peppermint Patty Sir, and Charles Schulz never fully explained why, adding a layer of quiet mystery to an already enigmatic character.
I think that's what they mean by Thanksgiving, Charlie Brown.
Number 3. Piglet, The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, 1988. Piglet is afraid of everything: storms, heffalumps, loud noises, unexpected visitors, his own shadow on a bad day. He's the smallest character in the 100-acre wood, and he moves through the world like someone who is acutely aware of that fact at every single moment. But Piglet keeps showing up. That's the part people miss. He's terrified of heffalumps, but when Pooh needs help, Piglet goes into the woods anyway. He's scared of the dark, but when his friend is lost, he grabs his tiny lantern and walks into it. Piglet's introversion isn't a limitation. It's the thing that makes his courage extraordinary. A brave person doing brave things is expected. A terrified person doing brave things? That's a hero. Piglet is proof that the size of your fear doesn't determine the size of your heart. He shakes, he stutters, he whispers, and then he does the right thing anyway. Every time. In the original books, Piglet's house has a sign reading "Trespassers W," which he tells everyone stood for his grandfather's name, Trespassers William. It's never confirmed, making it one of children's literature's most charming little mysteries. Number 2. Franz Robinson, the Swiss Family Robinson, Flown of the Mysterious Island, 1981. If you grew up watching this Japanese-produced adaptation of the Swiss Family Robinson, you know exactly why Franz is this high on the list. While the rest of the Robinson family adapted to island life with varying degrees of enthusiasm, Franz retreated inward. He was described explicitly as extremely introverted and shy, not as a phase, not as something to overcome, but as a core part of who he was. Franz didn't want to explore the island. He didn't want to build things or hunt. He wanted to read. He wanted to think. He wanted to process the massive upheaval of being shipwrecked by sitting quietly and making sense of it internally before engaging externally. In a survival story built around action, Franz represented the people who survive by going inward first. Reflection isn't passivity. Thinking isn't weakness. And needing time alone after a crisis isn't a character flaw. It's a coping strategy that's kept introverts alive for thousands of years. This anime adaptation, produced by Nippon Animation as part of their World Masterpiece Theater series, is far more well-known in Japan and Europe than in North America, making Franz one of the most beloved introverted characters that Western audiences barely know exists. Number 1. Dabbler Smurf, The Smurfs, 1981. Was there ever any doubt? Well, actually, yes, because most people have never even heard of Dabbler Smurf, and that's exactly why he's number 1. In a village of over 100 Smurfs, every single one is defined by a single dominant personality trait. Brainy is smart, grouchy is grumpy, vanity is vain. And Dabbler is the introvert. Not shy, not anxious, not withdrawn because of fear. Dabbler is explicitly described as the most introverted Smurf in the entire village, a character who would rather be alone tinkering with his projects than attending another one of Smurfette's garden parties. He bounces between hobbies and interests, trying new things, experimenting, dabbling, but always alone, always on his own terms. He's not avoiding the other Smurfs because he dislikes them. He's avoiding them because his energy comes from solitude. He recharges by being alone with his thoughts, and when he does engage with the village, it's on his schedule, for exactly as long as his social battery allows. That's textbook introversion, not shyness, not social anxiety, just a fundamental preference for inner life over outer noise. Dabbler didn't need validation from the village. He was perfectly content being the Smurf nobody noticed, because being unnoticed was the whole point. Dabbler Smurf is number 1 because he's not performing introversion, he's not struggling with it, he's not trying to overcome it. He's just living it, quietly, happily, on his own terms. And every introvert who's ever been told they need to come out of their shell felt that in their soul. In the original French comics by Peyo, this character goes by different names in various translations, but his core trait, preferring solitude and personal projects over socializing, has remained consistent across every version for over 60 years.
But honest, Grouchy, I didn't, never mind.
The 1980s told introverts they were background characters, but every single character on this list proved that wrong. They were the emotional anchors, the quiet heroes, the ones who reminded an entire generation that you don't need to shout to be heard. Drop a comment and tell me, which cartoon introvert did I miss? Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.